welcome back to Table Talk Sports. I'm Big Play Nate, and I'm taking a turn hosting this show. With me today are High Seed, Bruiser, Gunslinger, and Mystery Machine. So, I hope you enjoyed our way of posting our last few videos. That was all our ideas. If you like that, please post in the comments. If you don't, feel free to say that too. So, college football is midway through, but there's been so many cancellations, it's hard to tell actually good rankings. Bruisers are pretty smart when it comes to college football, so do you want to say something related to that?
Yeah, absolutely. College football has been affected more now than ever before due to COVID, and certain teams had a slower start than others. It was a harder way to start the season. Big Ten didn't start as soon as SEC, and still, with so much, I'm going to use LSU as an example. LSU lost 35 players in the offseason, and then they weren't able to practice during the offseason due to COVID. So all their new players aren't known with the coach, they aren't known with the other teammates, and that's why LSU's not doing that well. But for other teams like Ohio State or people like that, their season started off later than other teams. It's just been a roller coaster for every team, and even Alabama, the almighty Alabama, has come close to losing some games because their coach got COVID at one point. They weren't able to practice during the off season, and they don't have Tua anymore. So whenever you lose your quarterback, you're always going to struggle. That's the same with LSU. They lost 35 of their players, including their quarterback.
Yeah.
Can I also say something on the rankings?
Yeah.
So I think that the rankings are a little bit messed up through the season. I think that people are underestimating certain teams because they are getting to play less games. For example, SEC teams. SEC teams have been able to stay top 10 because they played 10 games. And they get to continue to build up like that. So teams that are playing 6 games or 4 games or 8 games, they're getting a disadvantage. And it's ending up hurting them in the rankings. For example, Clemson, they're one of the two conferences, SEC and ACC, that are actually playing 10 games. And although they lost to Notre Dame, they're still top 4, which makes no sense to me. And teams like, for example, a Cincinnati, who's been doing absurd this year, they're still stuck at 11. And they should, I think, have been higher than Clemson at this point in the season.
Yeah, I don't think that, but anyway. Let's get into our red hot topic. Who has that for today?
I think I was assigned to have it.
Okay.
So, if you did not watch the game, I will go ahead and tell you what happened. The New Orleans Saints faced off against the San Francisco 49ers. And toward the end of the second quarter, Sean Payton wanted to get a touchdown before the 2-minute warning just to margin the lead. And the 49ers came in an all-out blitz and ran into Drew Brees and put all their body weight onto him. Drew Brees walks off the sideline limping a little bit, but he hasn't been hit that hard. So he's rarely been hit that hard this season, so obviously he has to get reacquainted with being hit that hard. In the third quarter, we find out that Drew Brees is not able to play because he's tired, due to what he thinks is bruised ribs. So they put in Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. They split snaps and actually end up winning the game without Drew Brees walking back on that field. After the game, Drew Brees went to a doctor, and the doctor said, all right, you'll be able to come back in 1 week. But Brees did not like the answer of that, so he wanted to go get a second opinion. And whenever he went to an actual doctor and not a team doctor, the doctors told him that he had broken 4 ribs and he had his left lung collapse.
What?
Yeah. So
what happens? I mean, that's what happens when you have a guy like that. There's no like invincibility in the NFL. I mean, you look at all the injuries, you look at Mike Thomas, you look at Christian McCaffrey, all those guys that didn't get hurt last year, they're getting hurt this year. So I have to agree with Bruger on that one.
If for some reason it's not happening to your friend Brady.
Yeah.
Because my Brady knows what he's doing.
But
they
Drew
have
Brees,
big jumbo linemen to just block guys. That's all he has.
Drew
But
Brees,
anyway, so Mr.
Well-
Machine, do you want to say something about Drew Brees' injury?
How could he have a collapsed lung? That's
His
just
rib
insane.
broke off and punctured his left lung.
Yeah, that's like how do you even walk with that? It's insane.
He stayed on the sideline the entire game and waited to come back in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane.
The craziest part is they have told him that he could come back in 3 weeks with 4 broken ribs and a collapsed left lung. Now, the Saints
He better be a quick healer then.
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of good for my Falcons playing you guys this week, but not good for Saints fans. Anyway, that's our red hot topic and our introduction. When we come back, we'll get into one of our favorite sections,